Welcome to another in my series called The Naked Truth, America and the World. Tonight I would like to address some of the issues again that are going on in our country. Issues that have an effect on all of us. Not just a few, all of us. People tend to forget that the decisions that they make are not only something that affects them, but everyone in the entire country. I've been watching the elections as they proceed forward, and these nominations going forward. Now we have Trump and Clinton clearly as the nominees of the two primary parties. All the others are out. Bernie Sanders is out. And I sit back and I watch all that transpires in America and the world. I've been to many places. I've lived in a lot of states in the U.S., and I have lived extensively outside of America. So when I see things here, I see things through eyes that are a little bit different, experience that's different, because I see it from outside and inside both. My field is psychiatry and psychology, and I'm fairly philosophical in my views and ideas and opinions. I try to be fairly balanced, and I try to have a certain amount of science that I utilize, as well as my instinct and gut emotions, and I try to control all those, and I try to see things in a clear picture, evaluating things from multiple directions. And I see a lot of things that are going on, and it is beyond disturbing, as I've said in previous broadcasts that I've made. And maybe my broadcasts don't really mean anything. They're not really getting to that many people, unfortunately. So please feel free, if you agree with anything I say, please, happy for you to distribute it out to any and all people that you can. I see what's going on, and I feel, reach the conclusion, as I have prior to this, and even more so as we go forward, conclusion that America as a country, America that I grew up in, is in danger of being lost forever. Make no mistake about it, it will be lost not only as a entire culture, society, system. It will be lost as there are going to be a lot of deaths involved ultimately before it's over with, if it goes in the wrong direction. People talk about and evaluate the convention that the Republicans had and with Trump, and they are talking about Trump's speech, and it's all doom and gloom and so forth and so on. The picture that he painted of the situation that we're faced with here. I've got news for you people. This is not a picture he's painting of something he wants to have. What he's stating is what we are facing. The problems that we are facing. If we don't face our problems, if we don't acknowledge our problems, we cannot deal with those problems. And these are not little problems here and there. These are significant. These are life-changing, country-altering problems. Democrats try to ignore these issues and problems. They try to pretend that everything is hunky-dory. It's all fine. It's better than it's ever been. And that is the biggest load of bullshit that I've ever heard in my entire life. Ever. Anywhere. Anytime. We are so far from that. That is so far removed from the actual reality that we face. The realities are what they are, regardless of how we got here, regardless of what the hell's going on. These are the facts. They want to get up and they want to support Hillary Clinton. Let me tell you, I don't give a teetotal damn about the Democratic Party, and guess what? I don't give a damn about the Republican Party. I don't care. Either one. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green. It doesn't matter to me whatsoever. What does matter to me is that we have a realistic view and are seeing things with our eyes wide open. Not being prejudiced by spin. There are great, wonderful, talented, smart spin doctors out there. There are people that have tried to control this country. They're not controlling it for you and I. They're trying to control it for their own interests. They're trying to control it and change things to a scenario that is of their agenda and fits them personally. It's not about what's in the best interest of the country. It's not about patriotism for this country. It's not about protecting us in this country any longer. Not for everyone, but for many. And most of those seem to be on the left side Democratic Party at the moment. To deny that ISIS doesn't exist, that we're not being attacked, that we're not at war, in fact, we are at war. Because they are not here in mass crowds on the streets battling it out does not make it not a war. Make no mistake about it, this is a war. It's a war against Christianity. It's a war against Jews. It's a war against blacks. It's a war against whites. It's a war against Latinos. It's a war against Asians. It's a war against America. And everything that's been done the last few years has been in support of that war. Sacrificing American lives at home and abroad. Donald Trump is an outsider. He's not a career politician. To me, that's a big deal. To me, that is what is that's part of what is required right now, what we need. The mass media is on the left. The mass media is bought and paid for by the left. The mass media is bought and paid for by the Obama administration, by Clinton, and any others that go within that group. It is bought and paid for. The mass media keeps trying to drive the entire public, and that's probably the only thing that's really giving Hillary Clinton the massive support that she has gotten. Still not beyond Trump at this point so much, but it exists. And there is this risk and danger that she could actually become the next president of the United States because of stupid people, because of uninformed people, people that don't really look at the facts. I'm not biased about this. I'm not prejudiced about this. What I am biased and prejudiced about is the future outcome of America, the future outcome of all of us living here. what we were founded on, the real basis of what we were founded on. Nothing is perfect. I've stated this before. There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect does not exist unless you're in a Disney movie. Perfect doesn't exist. There's no perfect country. There's no perfect world. There's no perfect people or any other perfect situations. They don't exist. We are supposed to move forward as human beings in a progressive manner and do the best that we can, make the best choices that we can make. Right now, we have a hell of a lot of people out there who are not making the best choices. They're making it because I'm a Democrat and I have to stand with the party, and I'm far left, or I'm far right, or I'm Republican. Again, I don't give a teetotal damn about any of that, and neither should you at this point. Because that, my friends, is not what any of this is about. It's not about party loyalty. What it should be about, what it's supposed to be about, is what is best for the country. You have the mass media making spins and doing these narrations of how they want to put things out there to people, how they want to influence everyone, how they want to lead everyone by the nose, how they want to dissuade them from the real issues. They step around it, they attack, they do this, they do that. There's many, hundreds and hundreds of things that are being done. And what I see is very clear in my mind, in my eyes, is that all these people are being led. They are not informed properly, and what they are informed about, they're only hearing one side. You best wake up. Look at the facts. Look at the realities. The reality is the attacks are going on. The attacks are increasing. It is not just in America. It is worldwide. And it's only getting wider. It's only getting more far-reaching, more frequent. Let me ask you, how much will you risk? Are you truly willing to risk your life? More importantly, are you truly willing to risk your family's life? This is not a fear tactic or spin scenario. This is a real life possibility, and we see evidence of this all over. This is the way that it goes. This is the way it is. And what if, let me step out of the other framework right now, what if the powers that be, that this is the intent to destroy this country that is supposed to be ours as Americans? What if much of what's going on is not stupidity or ignorance or making mistakes? What if it's about that they're the actual behind-the-scenes driving force to create a lot of these things, to allow a lot of these things happen? Manipulation can and does occur with power. What if the goal is to destroy America? To get to the point where, and it's already been brought up by some people in some areas, well, we'll just stop calling it the United States of America and we'll think up a new name. If you feel that way, that strongly about it, get the hell out. Go to another country that suits you better. Feel free to do so. And here in America, you have the freedom to leave and go somewhere else, if they'll accept you, wherever it is that you wish to go. Go find the society that you think will do that. I'm a little bit disappointed. No, I'm more than a little bit disappointed. I'm a lot disappointed in many of the Bernie Sanders supporters. I get it. I understand it. You know, some of the thoughts and feelings that some of the Bernie sent. I recognize these things. Folks, let me tell you, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. I remember Vietnam extremely well. I remember long hair and, you know, smoking pot and acid and LSD was around. And, you know, I remember protesting the war. I remember all those things like it was yesterday. The Bernie Sanders movement is kind of similar. The only new part of that is that, oh, well, let's just be a socialist nation. Let's become a socialist country. Let's throw everything away that we've built, done, everything that we're principled based on from the beginning. Let's just throw it away because we don't think it works very well. And in a lot of ways it hasn't been working, but socialism is not the reason why. Here's the problem with that. If you are realistic, if you are logical, and you look at any other country who has gone down that road, who is in that place, look at them, what their problems are, and how it has failed in many, many ways. Now, if you want to be a socialist, then please, again, move to one of those countries and go live, if you can. Stop trying to change America into another country that it's not. It's based on what it's based on from our history. And a hell of a lot of young people out there, including many, 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 many college students, don't know a damn thing about our history. Hardly at all. When they've been asked questions about it, they couldn't tell you the first thing. So they don't have the same American patriotism as other people who do know their history, who do know the details, excuse me, details of how everything has come to be in this country. Our freedoms, our rights, that many of us hold so dear, that so many thousands and thousands have paid a price for. Again, has it been perfect? No, it's not. There is no perfect. But in the scenario of what we have going on at this point in time, we are faced with issues and problems that are not new and new, usual and unusual. And here's the thing. We're at a precipice. I guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting here, we are at a precipice. And if we go the wrong direction, if we make the wrong choice for who is leading this country, we are screwed. It will mark the beginning of the end. Well, the beginning has already started, but more substantially the beginning of the end of this country. And it won't be a good thing. I can assure you. I can foresee many things happening and they won't be good. And I can foresee thousands and thousands and thousands of people regretting what they've done. Just like in the 60s, where we had the hippie movement and love and peace and all that. And many of those people who came to be adults later look back and go, God, I was an idiot. We don't have that kind of time to wait, unfortunately. I feel there is a tremendous sense of urgency this time around. I was Democrat for many years, most of my life. My favorite president myself was John Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. That was long ago, and much has happened since that time. Changes occur, changes happen, changes are natural and inevitable. You can't stop change. That's fine. The problem is what change, when, where, how. People look at Hillary Clinton and the people that are voting for her and on her side supporting her. While I understand there's going to be some, the numbers that exist for that are just absolutely to me, in my mind, in my view, unbelievable. And I'm sorry, but I have to refer to the people that are supporting her at this point in time, after all that's transpired and taking place, some of the most stupid, ignorant, blinded people I have ever seen in my entire life. But it's not too late to change. You want to take a position, then be really informed. Be objective. It's not that there's not room to discuss everything on every side of everything. There is. That's not the point right now. The point is, if you look at Hillary Clinton and you look at her track record honestly, clearly, she is not trustworthy. I can assure you, psychiatrically, psychologically, all the things that I've seen that she has done, all the things that she has said, all the evidence, clear, concise, point-blank evidence against her, what she says, her actions. She is the last person we need as the President of the United States. It's as bad as it comes. It's as bad as it gets. This woman cannot tell the truth. Or she cannot tell the truth unless it's mixed with lies and deception. She has no feeling whatsoever when it really comes down to it. Any good things she has done has been to further her career, advance her career. Narcissistic people will do good deeds for people so that they can be praised, so that they can be held up and exalted. She is one of those. I can almost guarantee that that is the case. She has no qualms about lying to us. That has been absolutely, undisputably proven. And although that's been proven, and as much as she has lied to everyone at this point, what in the hell would make you think that she won't continue lying to you? Not only as individuals, but an entire nation. She has no regard for others' human life. The only thing, the only objective that Clinton has is her own self-serving interest and those that she is associated with to bring this disastrous administration about, to continue the disastrous administration. It has failed on every level. If you look at true statistics, true, absolute facts, not media spin, but true facts. If you lay them out in front of you, clearly looking at them, her being a candidate is an impossibility. Her being a president is suicide and destruction of an entire nation and all of its people. At least with Donald Trump, we have someone that will probably put us on financial track. We can't fix many of these problems without the finances. We can't fix a lot of this without the money. We have to have the money to deal with some of these issues. This entire current presidency has been a failure for the most part. A little thing here, a little thing there doesn't amount to anything. They're smart. The DNC email hack, again, another email situation. This hack and those messages getting out shows where these people stand, how they look at things, their prejudices. Their manipulation is not of just an election. It's manipulation of the entire system. It's manipulation of you and I, of us. And if you let them manipulate you, because they control most of the mass media, if you let them manipulate you because of their spin and their smart speeches, then you really are deserving of what's going to happen to you. But what about everyone else around you? It's not. At the Democratic Convention, you have people, when one person finally gets up and says something about ISIS and terrorism and attacks and so forth, I think it was Leon Panetta, and he's practically booed off the stage, and no one would let him speak, and they don't want to hear about it, and they're, oh, no more war. They're chanting no more. We are at war now. American lives have already been lost due to this. Many more will come. These are savages, hell-bent, dedicated with destroying not only our life, but our way of life. They would just as soon kill us all and wipe us out. And this is not ended by any means. It is not by any means under control. Our borders are wide open, and Hillary Clinton wants to keep them open. She wants to open them even more. Syrian refugees are coming through. They had 500 came in the week after the Orlando, Florida shooting. What does that tell you? Again, this is the case, I've said before, you must see the forest for the trees. You must see the trees for the forest. Both. You have to see it all. You have to open your eyes and be honest about it. This is not about, oh, this is, a divisive message and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Media spin. Smart, but media spin. Now, if you want to be a sheep and you want to be led around, then go to some place where they do that. But don't make this country the same thing. I've lived and been in places like China. I've been in Afghanistan. I've been in the UK. I've been in London. I've been in Australia. I've been in many places, and I've seen a lot of things. And I also see the similarities between what's going on here and what has been, is in other countries. We get more like China all the time. And trust me, you don't want to be that way. It is not what it seems. I am well informed. I'm not saying I am the brightest light bulb in the lamp. I am not the leading authority. But I can assure you that every part of me, my brain, my heart, and my gut instinct is telling me we are in deep trouble. And we are on the verge, at this point, of destroying everything that this country was built upon. You have clever people that are really clever with words and speeches, and they have the power to manipulate the mass media and stretch things around and twist things. All this, again, is just to control you, to carry out their ultimate agenda and goals. And what those goals and ultimate agendas may be is terrifying when you really think about it. We're just trying to live our life here. Make a decent wage, have a decent life, have a shot at a better future, and for your children, your grandchildren, even better future for them. How about if they have no future at all? How about if all your freedoms are revoked and taken away from you? We'd as well be communists. And socialism is not much different. It looks all pretty at the surface, but you, again, get off your ass, get the detailed, realistic reality and information about any other country who has done socialism. And if you still believe in it after that, then please, instead of trying to change America to be that, go to a country that is that. Live there, experience that, and then see how you like it. Because once you change, getting it back is probably not possible. In this election, while I may not, I'll say Donald Trump may not be the best candidate in the world. But But his direction is one hell of a lot better than the status quo of what has been and what I can absolutely say will be coming. Mark my words. These are facts. These are facts. I'm not prejudiced one way or the other. And the people who are here who are Americans, I don't give a damn whether you're white, black, yellow, red, whatever depiction you want to put it. I don't care what your religion is, anything else. If you are a real American, and this is the case, you will not let this stand. If you are a true American and you want to preserve your way of life, your rights, your freedoms, then you better wake up and you better act now. For those people who are for Bernie Sanders saying, well, I'm just going to stay home and I'm not going to vote for anyone. That's the stupidest damn thing in the world, and you're just as responsible for the failure of this country as anyone else who is making it fail. One of the great lines about the devil, Satan, was that they said that his best trick was to make people believe that he did not exist. Now, for an atheist, that may not mean anything. But for Christians and others, it does. It's the same thing here. Smoke and mirrors, tricks and spins. And if you buy into that, you're an idiot. Grow a pair, look at the facts, then make a damn choice. But don't sit home and do nothing, because that's just as bad. You're not helping the country, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping anyone. You're failing it. And I could just sit back and go, well, you deserve what you get if you don't bother to try to participate. You can think of this as the lesser of two evils or whatever way you want to that makes you feel better, but you need to act in a positive, responsible way, in a realistic way, in an educated way, with details and facts. Clinton will not change. I can assure you of that. She does not care about anything after Benghazi, after the private email server, after the hack of the... and 100 other things. This will not change. She does not care about the country. She sure as hell doesn't care about you or I. It makes no difference. Her own personal agenda, wealth, power, etc., and the people that surround the current administration and she, that's all that matters, which still comes down to an individual thing. It's not there. I assure you it's not there. And she's changed her message 100 damn times, depending on what group she's with or what else is going on. She's even now trying to pick up some of Donald Trump's points and utilize them to convince people. And the problem is there are stupid people, people who are dumb enough to believe what comes out of her mouth when she's already been a proven liar time and time and time again. She is not in the best interest of this country, or you and I, or our way of life. She is a threat to all the above. Donald Trump is not. Changes must be made if we want a better life. We are so far behind in so many things. We have dropped so far down in our place in the world. No, I'm not advocating that we go out and we, get into a bunch of wars in a bunch of countries or anything else. But if you listen to what Trump is saying, if he is going to do half of what he says, we are still better off than we are now. We're better off much more than any direction we would head with Hillary Clinton. These things have to stop. And the stupid people doing it, you want to burn the American flag, you don't like it that much, you hate it that much, then go to another damn country. Live there. See how you like it there. Stop trying to change this one. If you don't think the terrorists will not come across that border and that you or your family member might be the next one to be killed in any way, shape, or form, then you're a complete idiot. You're as stupid as they come. Because you can't predict that sort of thing. You can predict it on the basis that it is going on everywhere. Thousands of people are dying in many places. Here, there, soft targets. Oh, guns are the issue. Climate change is the issue. Those are not the problems creating this immediate, urgent situation. What is the direction we were going? We have to. Why do you think they're fighting against Trump so desperately? The more they fight against him, rail against him, the more I want to see him win. Because that tells me that he doesn't want them in there upsetting their little playground, their little apple cart, their power, their money. He doesn't want to do that. They don't want to do that. And if he gets in there, then that's what evidently will happen. And if that's what's going to happen, then that's what needs to happen, apparently. If the black and Hispanics by any means think that the Democratic Party is on your side and going to help you, look at the fact of where you are now. Are you better off than 10 years ago? Are you making more money than 10 years ago? Very minorly few might be. The rest of you are not. You're probably making even less and struggling even harder to survive, even if you're one of those that's on Medicaid, food stamps, other government programs, housing. It may be okay for now, but that's what they want you to do. That's part of the agenda. Have you indebted, make you lazy, make you sloppy, make you root for the wrong person who will ultimately destroy this country and possibly take you, your family's life. This is not a scare tactic. This is what I see. I'm not happy about this, and I would rather not be on here talking about it. Things are the way they are. Sad to say. If you truly have any notion of America remaining America, if you truly have any notion of we need to be safe, we need to protect ourselves, if you truly have any understanding and belief that we are already at war with ISIS and others. ISIS right now is at the top of the list. If you don't think we're at war, then your head is apparently stuck up your ass or in the ground. We are at war. This must be addressed with utmost seriousness. Otherwise, there is no stopping it. And more people, innocent people, men, women, children, all races, all faiths, will die. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. If you do nothing, that still puts you on the side of the part of the problem. I hope and I pray to God that enough people will see the light. I hope and I pray that enough people will wake up and realize that they're being led down a path that doesn't exist. This is Alice in Wonderland if you stay with these so-called democratic ideals. If you Bernie Sanders folks stay home and don't vote, or you go Jill, the Green Party, you're at fault as well. In a long time, we have not stood together enough, strongly enough, We need to send a message to Washington. We need to send a message to the politicians that it's time to change, really change. It's time to end what has transpired. It is time to have a better life, a safer life, and a future, not only for us, but for our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and further beyond. So if you have sense, put this message out there to everyone and anyone you possibly can. Send it. Get it across. Talk to people. This is not a Democratic issue and a Republican issue and an independent issue. It is a country issue. It is an American issue. And we need to put aside this party politic bullshit and go for who is going to lead us in a better direction, straighten out these problems, deal with these things. Denying the problems does not fix it, and it never will. And there is an urgency, and the message must be sent, and Americans must stand up together, side by side, go out and do what needs to be done to save our country, to save our lives, to save our future. I hope that everyone can understand that. God bless and good luck to us all. Have a good night.